In this brief video demonstration, we'll take a quick look at the new exploration functionality found within Cognos Analytics 11.1. The new exploration functionality provides embedded, advanced, and augmented analytics in a very user-friendly environment. There's a lot to this new piece of functionality and a lot of use cases, more than we can cover in this demo, so I encourage everybody to go out and sign up for a free trial of Cognos Analytics 11.1. Bring in some of your own data and start exploring. In this example, we'll take a look at some sample reseller sales information that I have. And it's a CSV file that contains descriptive information about our resellers, their names, their geography, their business type, as well as fact or measure-based information about them. Quantity of products sold, overall revenue, tax amount, things of that nature. There's a lot to this data set, more than we understand right now, more than we can, but hopefully we can start to get it into Cognos, explore, and understand. So that's what we'll do real quickly here. There's a number of ways to get your data into an exploration, but the simplest way, and what we'll do here right now, is simply drag and drop the file into our Cognos portal. And you can see here we're prompted to either create a data module, exploration, or dashboard. For right now, we'll just choose to create an exploration. You can see the file's being read in. And once the file is fully uploaded, we're presented with this starting point card. And the starting point contains a relationship diagram that shows the different relationships Cognos has identified between the data items in our source data. So for instance, we can see that we've selected freight here as a field of interest, and we're seeing the relationships of all the other data items in this data source to freight. And the strength of a relationship is indicated by the width or the thickness of the lines between them. So for instance, if I hover over order quantity and freight here, we can see that there's a 21% strength relationship between those two. Whereas if I look at first order year and product line, for instance here, there's a strength of 72%. Now what those strengths and relationships actually mean are probably beyond the scope of this video, but just know that that type of advanced analytic analysis is happening by Cognos without any intervention from us. We can change the field of interest by selecting one of the tabs. So for instance, if I wanted to look at order quantity, I could select that. And then of course the relationships that are presented change as well. I can select individual data items from within the relationship diagram to have Cognos generate suggested visualizations for me. So for instance, if I select order quantity and product line, control clicking them, Cognos will suggest visualizations based on those data items. And I can go ahead and click one of these suggested visualization types to have that visualization open up. And it actually opens up in what's known as a card. If I look over here on the left side of the environment, you'll see I have this explorations icon here. And if I click that, that will open up the cards that I have based on this current exploration. Now there's only one card here because I've only selected one visualization, but there's also an option for that original relationship diagram that I selected. And if I select another visualization here, order quantity by product line, you'll see it generates a new card as well. If I look on the right side of my visualizations here, you'll notice this Details tab. And this Details tab provides natural language descriptive information about relationships that Cognos has found in the data. For instance, we're seeing the sum of order quantity for all values of product line is 4,198. We have another one for order quantity, touring and mountain, which are product lines, are the most important categories of product line with a total value of 3,195 or 76.1% of the total. If we turn our attention to the top of the visualization here, you can see the current visualization that's being displayed, which is bar. If I click the drop down arrow, we'll see other suggested visualization types from Cognos. And I could select one of those. You'll also notice we have this related drop down here as well. So if I want to see suggested visualizations based on related data items, I can also create visualizations based on specific data items I select from the source. If I click the source icon on the left side of the environment, and then I expand my data source, if I click New, Single, and then maybe I want to look at business type by product line. So I'm just control clicking these objects, and I want to look at annual revenue. With those selected, I can drag and drop them into the drop zone here. And Cognos will generate visualizations based on those. So I'm seeing a heat map here based on annual revenue by product line and business type. And we can see the scale here of the heat. I could change this to something else, of course. If I didn't like my heat map, I could come up here and I could select, this line chart here, for instance, and it updates. You'll also notice here that we have these green badges on certain visualizations. And if we click those badges, the number indicates the number of other relationships that Cognos has found in this data source. So here, these are all 100% correlated. But for instance, if I come back to one of my other cards here, I look at product line by order quantity, I click its badge here, and we can see we have some correlated relationships here as well. For instance, if I look at unit price discount percent based on the extended amount, that has a 78% strength. And I'm just going to mention this here because this gets a little bit complicated and certainly advanced for this video. But if you're familiar with Watson Analytics, this is similar functionality here within Cognos now in terms of predictive analytic capabilities, looking at drivers that are impacting certain data items within our source. We can see different decision trees here, and if I select them, you can actually get pretty complicated in here, and you can see the advanced rules that are written out, and a lot of very powerful and potentially exciting possibilities here. Again, beyond the scope of this video, but hopefully you now have a sense of what is possible within Cognos Analytics. I encourage, again, each of you to go out, sign up for a free trial registration, and start exploring. Thank you.